Hi, and welcome back to Thone Psalms, Nibbles, number 126. Returning to Zion. We're going to be reading Psalms 126, verses 1 through 6. When the Lord brought back the captivity of Zion, we were like those who dream. Then our mouths were filled with laughter, and our tongue with singing. And they said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us, and we are glad. Bring back our captivity, O Lord, as the streams in the south. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. He who continually goes forth weeping, bearing seed for sowing, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. The Lord has done great things. That's the theme here. Why is this in the Bible? We are to celebrate the Lord. Communications. We celebrate with laughter and joy. Isn't that a good picture? Application to my life. Because of Israel's great rebellion against the Lord, and even the land he has given them, the Lord removed them for 70 years. When they were released from the captivity, they were astonished in happiness. They so appreciated this second exodus as they returned home. They had been forgiven of the Lord in his great grace. This was a sobering event for those peoples who had lived around Israel as they see their celebrations. These other nations now feared the Lord. How did they feared the Lord? Because they had celebrated when Israel was taken away. And now the Lord has brought them back. And that doesn't speak well for those people. God had promised in his covenant with his people to provide them with food. And now these returnees planted seeds and claimed that promise. Then and today, the Lord is pleased when we remember him and apply his promises to our lives. God says, "Rejoice in my protection and love for you." My personal response is, Lord, thank you for your show of justice and of mercy for your people. Okay, that finishes this particular lesson, and kind of need to point out a few things that are coming up. Since that was number 126, and you subtract that number from 150, you get 24. So there are only 24 more Psalms left before we will have touched on some or all of all the Psalms. My plan right now is that we will transition from the end of the Psalms into the principles taught on the Sermon on the Mount. And that may give us a little change in format again, simply because some of those things in the Sermon on the Mount are one sentences. And then we may need to go to other scripture to explain that one sentence, whereas other bits of the Sermon on the Mount have their own explanation built in. So we need to be a little bit flexible in the way we address Scripture, in that, we have been reading just a Scripture from a Psalm and then talking about that. And it may be that some of the Sermon on the Mount things we need to, of course, give that line of Scripture. but then maybe do a little explaining and then do another line or two of Scripture to justify that explanation, so to speak. So that's just giving you a heads up for what's ahead, and we'll see you next time.